Have you ever felt like nothing you do matters, like all your achievements, relationships, and goals are ultimately meaningless? That crushing feeling that the universe doesn't care about you and that life has no inherent purpose? Well, there's a name for that philosophical position: nihilism. Nihilism is one of the most misunderstood philosophies in human history. People think of depressed teenagers or destructive anarchists, but nihilism is actually a serious philosophical response to humanity's deepest questions about meaning, purpose, and value. Today we're diving into what nihilism really means and why it continues to haunt modern life. Nihilism comes from the Latin word nihil, which means nothing. At its core, nihilism is the belief that life has no inherent meaning, purpose, or intrinsic value. Nothing we do ultimately matters because there's no cosmic scorekeeper, no divine plan, and no objective moral framework. But nihilism goes deeper than just saying life is meaningless. It's the position that all values are baseless, all beliefs are unfounded, and all human endeavors are ultimately futile. Religious beliefs, arbitrary human constructions, moral systems, social conventions with no real authority, scientific progress, just rearranging matter in a universe that doesn't care. The nihilist isn't necessarily trying to destroy everything, they're making a philosophical observation about reality. When you strip away all human projections and wishful thinking, what you find underneath is nothing. No inherent purpose, no built-in meaning, no cosmic significance. Nihilistic ideas emerged in 18th and 19th century Europe as traditional religious beliefs weakened. The term was popularized by Russian author Ivan Turgenev, describing radical youth who rejected all traditional values. Friedrich Nietzsche didn't invent nihilism, but he diagnosed it as the central crisis of modern civilization. He saw nihilism as an inevitable consequence of the death of God, the collapse of religious beliefs that had given life meaning for centuries. Nietzsche predicted this crisis would unfold in stages. First, people would lose faith in traditional values. Then they'd try to replace God with substitutes like science or nationalism. Finally, when these proved inadequate, they'd face complete nihilism. But Nietzsche didn't want people to remain stuck in nihilism. He saw it as a necessary phase that would clear away false beliefs and make space for something better. His Übermensch concept was someone who could create their own values after recognizing that no objective values exist. Nihilism isn't just abstract philosophy, it's a devastating lived experience. People going through nihilistic episodes describe feeling disconnected from everything they once cared about. The world loses its color and significance. Activities that once brought joy feel, well, mechanical and pointless. Relationships seem like elaborate games with no substance. And work becomes an absurd charade. There's often a sense of cosmic loneliness, floating in an indifferent universe that doesn't even know you exist. Your problems and dreams seem laughably insignificant against infinite space and time. Many experience existential depression, a deep sadness from contemplating life's apparent meaninglessness. The fear of death becomes overwhelming because death reveals the ultimate pointlessness of everything you've done. Some describe nihilistic episodes as, well, initially liberating. If nothing matters, all pressure disappears, but this freedom quickly becomes terrifying when you realize it includes freedom from any reason to keep living. Different thinkers have proposed various responses to nihilism. Existentialists like Sartre accepted that life has no inherent meaning, but argued this makes us free to create our own meaning. Albert Camus developed absurdism, embracing the conflict between human need for meaning and the universe's silence. Religious thinkers reject nihilism entirely, finding meaning in divine purpose. Humanists find meaning in human relationships and achievements. Nihilism, continues to influence contemporary culture through art, literature, and entertainment. Characters like Tyler Durden and Rick Sanchez, for example, express these nihilistic worldviews that really resonate with audiences who might feel disconnected from traditional sources of meaning. Social media, honestly, can amplify those nihilistic feelings. The constant stream of information can make our individual concerns seem, well, insignificant. Political nihilism pops up in movements that want to destroy existing systems, and in voter apathy that comes from believing politics is basically meaningless. Nihilism represents, perhaps, philosophy's most challenging problem. How do we live when faced with the possibility that nothing ultimately matters? It's haunted thinkers for centuries, and it still continues to affect people today. The nihilistic challenge can't be easily dismissed. In a universe apparently indifferent to human concerns, where individual lives are brief flickers in cosmic time, the question of meaning becomes genuinely difficult. But nihilism doesn't have to be the final word. Many philosophers and ordinary people have found ways to live meaningful lives despite accepting that the universe itself might be meaningless. They create meaning through relationships, achievements, and personal growth. The key insight might be that meaning doesn't need cosmic validation to be real and important to us. Human meaning, even if it's just human meaning, can still provide purpose and fulfillment. So, nihilism actually serves an important function by clearing away false certainties and, well, forcing us into an honest confrontation with reality. Even if its conclusions are, a bit uncomfortable, the nihilistic challenge can really lead to more authentic approaches to life. Understanding nihilism, even if we end up rejecting its conclusions, can help us live more thoughtfully and appreciate the meaning we do find. Sometimes, confronting meaninglessness is honestly the first step toward discovering what truly matters to us. If you're interested in exploring more philosophical questions about existence and meaning, make sure to subscribe. Philosophy isn't just abstract theory, it's actually a tool for understanding ourselves and our place in the world. Hit that subscribe button because grappling with life's biggest questions is what makes us human, and there's always more to explore in the world of ideas.